You have a tremendous amount of ambition, but at the end of the day, you have nothing to show for it. And it can be extremely frustrating knowing you've wasted the day, maybe a week, a month, even a year. But here's what's crazy. The laziest people become the most successful because they find easy paths to success. And that feeling of ambition is just simply unchanneled energy. And when you finally know how to channel that ambition, you'd be shocked at how fast you are and how capable you are of turning your dreams into reality. My name is Michael Diamonds. I was once ambitious but lazy. I was born in Havana, Cuba, and lived in a country called Namibia with a population of 2 million people in Africa. And today, I am a medical doctor. I'm a pro-natural bodybuilder running a multi-million-dollar company helping people live longer. I did 5 things that allowed me to channel my ambition into defined energy. And I documented all of this on YouTube. I was once just like you. And I know some people may be skeptical watching this video and some people may believe me. But I promise if you put your skepticism to the side, just for this video, you'll maybe learn something. At this very moment, this channel has roughly 3,000 subscribers and barely any viewers. Come back in a couple of months and read the comments of this video and see how many people that this has worked for. The truth is, at this very moment, you are a diamond in the rough, or this pipe with a very weak stream of water. These two things are very valuable, but for them to become valuable, you need to apply pressure. Pressure is what you're lacking, so we're gonna start there. Let's pretend for a second you fell asleep and God woke you up and he came to you at night and he said, I'm gonna play for you 2 movies. The first movie is your current life, and the whole movie is a mediocre life with no struggle. You just kept on doing what you're doing now. You lived very average and you really didn't try, and at the end you left this world with nothing to show for it. Now God is showing you the second movie. The movie starts in the exact bed that you're laying in, and in the next day, for the first time, you behaved differently. You wrote down your goals. You dressed quickly to go to the gym. Finally, you made your first investment. You lost your belly fat. You got married, you got a supercar, your super watch, a happy family. You watched the movie and you saw the butterfly effect of one different action the next day. And I promise, we are all picking the second movie, and applying that pressure will allow you to change this rough stone that you are into a diamond. So let's go into step number 1, clarity of purpose. Having a definite, specific goal or aim in life that directs all of one's thoughts, actions, and efforts. Clarity of purpose involves knowing exactly what you want, why you want it, and maintaining an unwavering focus on achieving it. You see, focus is pressure on what you want. The more focus you have, the more pressure you can apply. What you're seeing on the screen right now, I took a photo on the 7th of February 2019. On there, you can see I wanted to pass all of my cycles in medical school. I promised I'd study Monday to Friday. I had the goal of hitting 500,000 subscribers, and right under there, I'd written that I'll make 2 videos a week, Monday and Thursday. On the opposite side, that I'd post on Instagram Monday to Friday and hitting 200,000 followers, and I had the financial goal of hitting $100,000 as a student. At the time, I sold merch like lifting straps and hoodies, and I was selling diet plans for 30 bucks. And if I'm not mistaken, at the time, I was sponsored by Gymshark and My Protein. Today, that same channel has 2 million subscribers and nearly 250,000 followers on Instagram. 6 years later, what people don't know is the day before I wrote that list, I just broken up with my ex. And God, it was finally over and another story to write. And I had to channel my pain into positive energy. This is what I want you to do. I want you to write down in a notebook that you will keep forever. On page 1, the heading should be clarity of purpose. In a list, write down all the things you want, and you need to be as clear as possible. If you want a house, you need to be specific in which neighborhood, which street, how many bedrooms, what's the price, square feet. You know you're doing this right if you're starting to feel warm inside and maybe even a little scared. You want to write down the car you want, the watch, Maybe it's paying off of your parents' house as a goal. Try and fill this page up. And on the second page, I want you to flip it over. You need to write a list of what do you think that you have to do to achieve those goals. Write a list of all the things that you should do to achieve it. If you can rank them from the most important to least important, even better. You're lazy because you have this lack of clarity. And right now you're in a dark room with a flashlight and you're flashing that flashlight at the ceiling and you keep hitting the ceiling because you are stuck in the same place. The list that you're going to write is you taking that flashlight and flashing it towards the door so you can go to the next room and eventually to go to the next level. This is your blueprint. This is your movie. This is the script of your life. But just writing things on paper isn't enough. We now need to execute. We need to take action, which is step number 2. We want to write a checklist, a daily checklist, and listen to what Harvard surgeon Dr. Atul Gawande had to say about checklists.
We implemented this checklist in 8 hospitals around the world. We found that after they adopted it, the complication rates fell 35%. It fell in every hospital it went into. The death rates fell 47%. This was bigger than a drug.
I've been writing a checklist every day for the last 10 years. Every checkbox I write is a step towards the goal that I listed in step 1. Every time you write something on your checklist and tick a box, you've taken one step closer to your goal. So every night, from today onwards, in your book, I want you to write 3 to 5 things that you want to accomplish the next day, and this will take you one step closer to your goal. In that 2019 image I shared with you, this is my checklist. Number 1, complete studying on all coronary artery disease. Number 2, research apple cider vinegar topic for YouTube. Number 3, train chest and shoulders and do 30 minutes of formal cardio. If you miss some things, no big deal. Just move that unchecked box to the next day, and all of a sudden that ambition you're channeling to pure focus and pure next steps, and you'll see the results come. Just do this for 7 days and you'll see how much you get done. I look back and I realized that I got so addicted to the feeling that dopamine hit the moment I checked something off. I would go to bed super early just so I could wake up early again so I could check some more things off. Step 3 is belief. Belief is a state of mind when combined with definiteness of purpose and persistent effort can manifest desires into reality. Nothing is easier to change in your life than a belief you have itself. If you can change what you believe, it makes it easier for you to look at the future and to not look at the past. If you don't believe in yourself, how do you expect someone else to? When I was lazy, I would spend hours watching podcasts of people I looked up to. And you could see the artists and the athletes when they spoke about their upbringings, their struggle. You could see that the only option that they had was to believe in themselves. It's the only thing they could afford, and it costs nothing, and it is the easiest thing you can do. A lie told 1,000 times becomes the truth. And maybe the first time you tell yourself something like, I'm going to become a millionaire, you will feel like a fraud. But on the 100th time, the 600th time, it will feel just a little bit more true. Your mind will find ways to make that truth all of a sudden a reality. And then all of a sudden you start acting like a millionaire. All of a sudden you start reading books that will help you become a millionaire. All of a sudden you start investing like a millionaire. In psychology, people don't want to be associated with a lie. So if you tell a person, hey, you look like someone who's organized, you look like an organized person, and maybe in truth they aren't, and the person agrees, it shows that the person will likely want to satisfy that statement and be more organized than they usually are, because people do not want to be associated with a lie. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. And underscoring that belief is the catalyst for turning your thoughts into tangible outcomes. Our words shape the way we think and the way we feel, and how we feel determines what we do, and what we do determines the results that we get. So start believing. Step 4, your environment will shape your behavior. Now I'm going to put this into internal an external environment. We'll start with the external because it is the simplest. The external environment is everything that is around you. There's research being shown by James Clear that when soldiers in the war in Vietnam got addicted to heroin, when they were finally removed out of the war and transported back to the United States, 90% of people lost their addiction to heroin. This simply just shows that depending on your environment, it can dictate your behaviors. If you have a bowl of cookies on your countertop in your room versus a bowl of apples, who's going to be likely fitter? The person with a bowl of apples. So I remember when I first started making videos, I shared an apartment with 5 people. In my room, I had 3. And I remember when I was cooking and making cooking videos to show people how to get fit, I would need to clean the apartment every day. Now I lived in Russia, without getting dark, I would believe that some of my roommates would purposefully make the kitchen dirty knowing I would clean it because they wanted to see a man of color clean, but they also wanted to be lazy and make me do it. And I did this for nearly 3 years. I cleaned just so I could record a video that was presentable. And I would shape my environment. I would keep healthier foods in my fridge, and it sucked. And I ate shit for 3 years. But keeping things clean and cooking the right foods in my environment, the moment I got my first YouTube check, I made a video titled How to Lose Belly Fat in 1 Week. And eventually I had the body to show proof that I knew what I was talking about. And all the effort I'd put over the 3 years paid off in one video. I took my first YouTube check. I'll never forget that email. It was about $6,000 that hit my account from this viral video. And the first thing I did was change my environment. And I got an apartment with one of my roommates who was extremely intelligent. So I knew the benefit would be that I'd study really hard with him, but I had a cleaner apartment to film. And I consistently changed my environment to really support the behaviors that I want. The same applies. Get your gym closer to your home. Buy healthier foods. Don't keep anything that's going to have you distracted. I don't own a PlayStation because I don't want to be distracted. I don't go to clubs. I don't want to be distracted. And all these things, I would limit the places I'd go to and how I would spend my time. Shape your environment as much as possible because it will be the invisible hand that will dictate your behavior. You then also have your internal environment. Your internal environment is the home in your brain. Think about the things you consume. If you're on social media, consuming things that really is just stealing your attention and your time, I often, as a social media person, delete things that I can see is consuming my time. I unfollow anybody I feel does not provide me any value. I have a new number where very, very limited people can reach me because I do not want the potential of distraction. So organize and limit the things you allow in your mind. I spend my time either for fun. I'll watch anime where there's a story like One Piece of someone really fighting for their goals no matter what as an entertainment, but I'd watch a podcast or listen to an audiobook to shape my internal environment. I will meditate to shape my internal environment. I will only speak and take advice from people who are further than I am to shape my internal environment. So right now, look at your life and look at your physical environment, your external. Change things. Throw away the shitty foods. And if there are people in that life who are also not helping you, throw them away, as bad as that sounds. Step number 5, and this is the hard one. Get rid of the zombies. The common zombie is the thing that, holds on to you, latches onto you, and just sucks away your life. Think of it as a vampire. I want you to get rid of them. So the common zombie I hear all the time is I don't have time. What you need to realize is that every millionaire and billionaire and successful individual has the same 24 hours as you do. Every successful person in this world has very likely overcome the challenges you face. What I see all the time is that people say they don't have time, but really they just waste it. So this is a big recommendation that has really helped me. I want you to audit your time. So from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed, this may sound tedious, but every 15 minutes, I want you to write down what you did. Scrolled on Instagram, write that down. Went for a walk, write that down. Petted your dogs, write that down. on a Zoom call, write it down. And at the end of the day, you will get a true audit of where your entire day went. And you'll be able to tally up and see where does your time go. I know people have a 4-hour to 8 or 10-hour watch time on their iPhone, and it will be very easy to see where all of this wasted 24 hours is. After you've written down this list, next to every 15 minutes, write down either $4 signs or write down the scale of $1 sign to 4. $1 sign is something that makes you no money or very, very little money. Example, talking to friends. $4 signs is the equivalent of being on a sales call. That the moment someone accepts that, you will make money. Or for me, when I was a student, every time I had a video completed or writing a script or anything with regards to YouTube was $4 signs. Every YouTube video I made would generate me some money. Every Instagram post I would make, and put down those dollar signs next to every activity. Anything that is $2 signs and below, cut it out. Cut it out. So you can spend and take all and channel all that energy into things that are $3 and $4 signs. This will allow you to kill the zombie of time. I want you to kill the zombie of people. When I was a student, I had people I would party with, people that will consistently invite me out, people that would introduce me to girls, which is fantastic, my friends. But over time, I realized that although those people love me and they want things from me, I understood that those people are not aligned with the goals that I had. Essentially, I went through a breakup with all these people, and it wasn't necessarily like, hey, never text me again. I just simply made myself less available. Hey, Mike, do you want to come out this weekend? Hey, man, you know what? I need to study a little bit more. I'm going to stay at home. I need to pass this test. Hey, Mike, next week. What are you doing this weekend? Dude, you know what? I didn't make any YouTube videos. I need to put my time into YouTube. And essentially, I would say no. I wouldn't say it directly, but I would tell them where I was channeling my time to. And over time, they would realize my attention was no longer outside. My attention was no longer the club. My attention was no longer making jokes or spending time in the forest or going on walks. My attention was on all the things, that checklist. That's where all my attention went. I would slay the zombie of distractions when it comes to friends. And then the final zombie is hesitation. When you're about to do something, when you're about to make a big change, it is very normal to hesitate. And it becomes harder and harder making decisions. But what I've realized in this life, the more things you do that other people don't do, or that is very different, the more rare of a location you'll be in. I'll give you an example. 30 years ago, it was probably a bad idea to most people to invest in Apple. But those who saw Apple and saw what the technology was and where it made sense and that it made sense, they invested in Apple early. And essentially, because they were so small, they could really take advantage of being the first, and they could take more because they weren't dividing it with the thousands of other people fighting for commodities, for example. The same applies to the people who invest in a company the first time. The same applies to people who do something for the first time. So develop the habit of being the first or doing the opposite, because when you go in the opposite direction, you're very likely to be able to take more. You need to transition from fitting in to standing out and doing things that are different. So when you feel hesitation, go towards it, because through that door, there is usually unique opportunity. And that is my 5 steps of becoming ambitious and channeling your ambition, your laziness. My dogs are barking, but that's actually a good note to stop the video. But that's how you go from just being ambitious and channeling it to being successful. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the video. I will not ask for likes on this channel because I don't care. And hopefully this helps someone. I would say, if you can, do share it with someone who may find this beneficial. Cheers. I'm always in your corner, even when you don't see me.